Let's talk about left-handers. Do you have any left-handers in your class, and are you maybe a left-hander yourself? Then you would know that seating is most important. You cannot put a left-handed learner and a right-handed learner next to each other with their elbows bumping each other. You have to make sure that your left-handed learner sits on the left-hand side of the desk if you have a dual desk. So it's very important that you make sure which of your learners do write with their left hand. Then secondly, you cannot change a child's dominance, and you should never attempt to. We're talking about the preferred hand, the hand that the child prefers to write with these days. We're not so focused on calling it dominance anymore. Dominance emerges only after the age of 2 and will be well established by the age of 4. So between the age of 2 and 4, we always give the learner an opportunity to choose. You put the crayon or whatever the child's going to pick up right in front of the child, and the child can then decide which hand to pick it up with. If a learner by the age of 4.5 has not made a firm decision which hand to write with, you need to refer out. But once you have your learner in the class that is a very definite left-hander, you need to make sure that you accommodate him with activities, that you allow him to position his paper so that it's comfortable for him to write. He might want to turn his book slightly sideways, and he might use a claw grip to write. And that is important because he needs to be able to see what he's written. You cannot really write with the left hand and then drag your hand across what you have written, because then you get no visual feedback on what you have written. So paper position or book position remains important. What you need to know is that letter formation stays the same for all learners, whether they are right-handed or left-handed, and that it's possible to have a left-handed learner who has problems with postural control, that has problems with hand function, that could have problems with praxis, or that could have problems with visual perception. So they have the same incidence of other problems that your right-handed learners would have. So that's just my bit on left-handers. Now, to summarize what we have seen all over this video is that in order to give a learner support around his handwriting, you have to have a bit of an analytical view. You need to look at your learner as a whole and see, what is the posture like? Is this child actually able to maintain himself against gravity, or is he slouching? Is he fidgeting? Is he extremely clumsy? Because that could be the contributing factor. You have to go back and see, how is this learner's hand function? Does he have adequate sensation? Does he have strength in his hands? Is he able to manipulate objects? And does he have a normal grasp? By the way, if a learner has a strange pencil grip, but he's writing neatly, please leave it alone. We don't change anything that works well. So if your learner is writing neatly and can work at the pace of the rest of the class, and they have a strange pencil grip, don't tamper with it. We just leave it as it is. And then lastly, if your learner might have a praxis problem, the motor planning aspect. And then if you address each of these underlying factors, you will see the handwriting improving. Because once you've worked on the building blocks, you will find that the rest of the house can stand firm. I hope this video has helped you to understand handwriting and the underlying skills of handwriting. And do remember, you can write to us at any time and we will give you advice. We don't only give advice on what products you could use, we also just give general advice and some moral support. This is Hillian Johnson saying goodbye, and please stay inspired. Goodbye.